Some suggestions on how to answer personals and some common mistakes to avoid. All right. Personal questions questionnaire is very important when it comes to sales and marketing folks. So my recommendation would be you prepare a list of 20 or 30 odd incidents where you can fit one story in multiple ways, because it's impossible for you to come up with 40 stories for 40 different questions. So it's better you come up with a story that show that highlights your 2 3 skills at the same time. And trust me, I had 3 long hours of interview based on my personal question and questionnaire. It is very helpful. You can repeat your stories, it is absolutely fine, but have your stories in your mind. So do that. Second is have a storytelling. Everybody has a different way or a different style of answering the questions. Mine was, I would set up a context, then I would show them my action, then towards the end I would go to the result. So I used car framework for every personal story that I would tell. But how it differentiated from others was the way I used to tell my story. I used to tell my story in such a way that I would save the best element or the best part towards the end, so that the person is listening to my story and probably it's okay, and then boom, something really good happens. And that is how I used to tell my story. So storytelling is very important. Knowing your way of storytelling is even more important. So do that. And third one is voice modulation. Obviously, all of you have given multiple interviews. The power of voice modulation is such that you can make or break the situation. You can make a story very boring, or you can make a story even better than it actually was, based on your voice modulation. You need to lower your voice, you need to emphasize more on something, you need to change your expressions. So a lot depends on your modulation. So please work on that. Have you can what you can do is you can have multiple videos recorded for you right in front of you, so that you know what you're doing right, you know what you're doing wrong. So that way it works very well. So these 3 things are very important for answering your personals. Some common mistakes to avoid is first, answering way too soon. Sometimes we are so much in a hurry, we forget that it's an interview. You are supposed to look natural even if you have crammed all those incidents. So it's better to take 30 seconds for every single question, except for your introduction. Do not ask for 30 seconds to, remember your introduction. Arey, main kaun hu? Don't do that. Except for that, always take some time to answer your questions. It gives a good impression. Second thing to avoid is to keep your answers too long. It's really not good, and especially when you're speaking in front of an interviewer, he or she does not have the time or patience to listen to their entire story. So always keep your answers 1 minute or 90 seconds. And based on the feedback from last year, I remember my juniors used to give a lot of details in their answers. So my feedback was always to keep it crisp. Leave the details that you think are not relevant in that particular context. And if that particular interviewer is interested to know more about it, they will ask you. Keep it short, keep it crisp. So I guess these are enough tips for your personal questionnaires.